Aloha, I'm Kristine Berens with Coldwell Banker Island Properties here in Kona, here today to talk to you about the 7.25% withholding from HARPTA. HARPTA stands for Hawaii Real Property Tax Act. It's a 7.25% withholding on the sale of a property from a second homeowner investor, a non-resident Hawaii person. I have here Form N-288. N stands for no, I do not want my money withheld. But don't worry, there is Form N-288A as in, I am the seller and I can get that money back. So that's all it is. It's a way for the state to ensure that they are going to get the money that they are owed. So they're going to withhold more than what they actually need from you. And why is it important for the buyer to know this? Because in Hawaii, it's the buyer's responsibility to make sure that that money is held. If something slips through the cracks and it's not held, the state's going to be coming after the buyer. And the escrow officer you are working with will help the buyer and seller to get the correct form and to make sure this is withheld. So once you close on the property, the escrow company is going to give the state the money. And then they're going to give you a copy of the check so that way you have proof that it was done. So right here, this form N-288, it's the buyer's form. It walks you through right here. It's a 7.25% withholding. An obligation is generally imposed on the buyer when a Hawaii real property interest is acquired from a non-resident person. Who must file? A transferee buyer of a Hawaii real property interest. So it is the buyer's responsibility. Are you exempt? Can you be exempt? Yes, there are 3 things that can exempt you from withholding. Number 1 is the biggest one. You are a Hawaii resident. It does not matter the sale price of your property or how many properties you own in Hawaii, you will be exempt. I've actually had a case where I had 2 brothers selling the same property. One was a Hawaii resident, one lived on the mainland. The escrow company was only obligated to withhold 50% of those proceeds. How they actually claim that, I don't know, because that was a CPA question, how the brothers took that money, but only 50% had to be withheld. So number 1, you're a Hawaii resident. Number 2, right here, that by reason of a non-recognition provision of the IRC as operative under Chapter 235 HRS, you are not required to report any gain or loss with respect to the transferee. Number 3, this is one I actually have seen before. It's for the year preceding the date of the transfer. The property has been used as the principal residence for the seller, even though they weren't a Hawaii resident, it was their principal resident, and the sale did not exceed $300,000. So something to take into consideration if you're thinking of maybe listing your property at say $303,000, maybe list it at $299,500 because you won't have to deal with HARPTA. But maybe that extra $3,000 is worth it to you because you don't mind, you can wait for the money. But if you need that money ASAP, then maybe think about how you could think of your listing price a little bit better to benefit you as the seller. So let's go down to the next form that I know sellers are wondering, Form 288A. Right here, it will tell you, how do you get your money back? It's perfect. So your refund right here, it's laid out for you how you can get the refund back. And the best news is you can close on the property and then you can apply for that refund. You don't have to actually wait until the tax year comes around. You can have your CPA help you. I know there's companies, Google HARPTA help me HARPTA. People in Hawaii will actually help you file this tax back. And then if for any reason you're exempt from the withholding, make sure you get on that right away because the escrow company is going to need to get your forms. You're going to need to actually file with the tax department. The tax department will say, okay, escrow, you don't need to withhold the money from them. And then the buyer is also going to get proof of that. In the event the state comes after the buyer can say, no, the taxation department said that it didn't need to be withheld, and here's the paperwork. So it all seems overwhelming, but don't worry, step by step. If you're working with a great realtor, you're working with a good title escrow company, you will be okay. Any questions, you can call me 808-563-0855, KristineBerens.com. Aloha.